Let me ask you a straight questions. Do you know the real connection between the rice cooking in your kitchen, the cash sitting inside your pocket, and the foreign policy of this nation? Today, we aren't talking about everyday politics. We are talking about geopolitics, money, and your hard-earned savings. Look at the map of Nepal, sandwiched right between the massive economic superpowers to the north and the rising global giant to the south. In a hypersensitive geography like ours, every time foreign policy wobbles and every time the government shakes, the very first hit lands directly on your wallet through soaring inflation and the skyrocketing taxes. Let's look at the hard historical fact. How stable was our diplomacy during the era of the monarchy? When King Birendra proposed Nepal as a zone of peace, over 116 nations stood up and supported it. That wasn't just a fancy political slogan, that was a calculated, visionary diplomatic shield designed to protect our economy from the external military and the financial bullying. Back then, the heavy burden of the foreign debt we see today simply didn't exist. Critical infrastructure like the Mohendra Highway and the key manufacturing industries were built on our own terms. As a result, the currency retained its value and the nation was moving towards this true self-reliance. But what happens when diplomacy becomes unstable? Every few months, coalitions collapse and the new government takes over. One administration signs an international treaty and the next one freezes it. Foreign investors look at this chaos and run away. And when a country lacks the long-term policy, it has to rely heavily on the foreign loans and the high-interest debt just to survive. And who pays off that national debt? Not the politicians. To fund those loans, extra taxes are quickly slammed onto every day you consume, from the salt on your food to the internet on your phone. The real root cause of the today's economic crisis and the youth brain drain isn't just a bad luck. It's highly volatile diplomacy. Developed nations like the UK or the Japan understood this psychology centuries ago. They hold elections, their prime minister changes constantly, but they kept a permanent non-political anchor to protect their foreign policy and the national security, a constitutional monarchy. Because of that permanent anchor, external forces cannot easily manipulate their local economy. Investment stays safe, policies stay predictable, and the citizens' wallet protected from the sudden shock. We don't need absolute rule or dictatorship. We need a stable long-term system. An ultimate guardian to shield our economy, our diplomacy, and your wallet from the external geopolitical games. Think about it. Unstable governments that flip-flops every few months and drain your savings, or a permanent constitutional anchor that protect the nation's sovereignty and your financial future.